recruit under my team, I love creative people. I don't go by books. You know, I mean, everyone can be smart book, but I want a smart, street smart, a book smart. I like someone that's street smart. Someone that's street smart, they're not creative. When you are creative, you see, happy people, they tend to be creative. You know, so you have to be happy doing what you do. So then, creative people, they tend to visualize things even more holistic. Alright? So when you deal with the data, start small size, sample size, then you try to connect the dots, visualize in a bigger picture, and that's what you got. Alright? Okay. So important things is that you leverage on all the tools that you have. So I think it would be beneficial. Okay? Alright. Anything else? Okay. Ladies first, maybe?
Okay, hi. I have a few questions related to your studies abroad just now. First, do you get credit hour exemptions? Second, were you self-funded or any scholarship or any loan or something like that? And third, like, do you have any struggle when you fly? Because usually when people fly at first, they are struggling with adaptation or you're not going with a group or so on. Do you have like any struggles with that? That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Interesting question actually. It's quite personal juga. Okay. So the first question was exemptions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in UK, correct me if I'm wrong, in UK we only have 2 universities that provide full exemptions, which is even LSE doesn't provide full exemptions. That was 6 years ago, but you can try to check. So I think it was Harry Ward University and also Kent and City. Yeah, City Uni. Okay. So I did get the whole exemptions, meaning C1 to C8. Yeah. The exemptions upon I graduated. So the second one is that I was self-funded because I did not get any scholarship here in Malaysia. So when I went there first year, I get their own scholarships. So each university, they provide their own international student scholarship, but you have to really score at your studies. So I get the first year, I get at least 50% discount, and the following year I get another discount. And then, so basically, I'm just studying based on discount lah sebenarnya. Right. But at least that motivates you because I know being I would say private funded students is not easy because you're not using your money, using your parents' money, your family's money, right? Even you want to buy a new boots in Zara, you feel very guilty, right? So that's what I do. You know, the aim when I get that the first year, I know I have to get their student scholarship or students discount, and I got it. So I think the first, second year I did get that, right? So to those who might not get any scholarships, you can try to browse if that university provides such opportunities. And then the third one was how do I adapt there? I think interestingly, the whole batch of my in Harry Ward University class of 2018, I'm the only one Malay. So we have 5 of us Malaysian, the rest are Chinese, and my classmates was 90% Chinese. Chinese as in Chinese China. You know, about 10%, 5, maybe 2% locals, and then the rest are internationals. Right, so how do I adapt? I think it is important to always stick with your goals. What is your goal? You want to get your degree. At the same time, you want to have fun. So you study hard, you play harder. That's the rules. That's always been the rules. I did regret maybe that if I would have played even harder, because I think like I missed out so much fun because studying actuarial science is so hard. It's so hard. I have to admit it's freaking hard. But then when I look back, if I would turn back time, I think I will still do the same. I will still study days and nights, you know. But then when we finish our studies, I still have time to play, you know, wandering around, go travelling. And then some people would say, macam mana budak overseas ni banyak duit lah dia nak travel kan. As for me, I do multiple jobs. I babysit, I do seniors thesis, they paid for me, and the customer service, you know. Yeah, I mean, the seniors who ask you, I mean, not the seniors, but the PhD students, they have the thesis that they have to do based on the data. And like I said, I know what I'm good at. So when you know what you're good at, you use that for money. Why not? It's kerja halal kan? You know, so all these thesis students, all they want to write up. So this data is on us. So they will pay me per project probably what? £15 tu banyak kot. You can pay 1 month of your bills dekat sana. That's how big it is. And then I'll go and babysit some families with their kids, and then I also be their part-timer student service center whenever they want to call, whenever they want to email. Kalau you all email your ITM help desk ke apa kan, dekat sana adalah I lah yang menjawab. So all this we get paid for it. So that's what I get the money from. So meaning to say, as someone yang private funded, and you know you have to score your studies, it's not easy. You have to adapt with the people, but again, stick to your goal lah. Kan, you know you go there for your degree, you have to come back with a degree, and then you want to explore the country, especially. So how do you do that without money? Go and find your own money lah, right? Something like that, right? So and the most important is that whatever that you do, you have to be happy. There are few students that they went there and then midway they quit because they're not happy. You can't force people to study, do things that they're not happy at. Even though people say actual science actually have very bright future, it's true. But if you're not happy, then what's the point? That's when the kacau you punya mental. That's when the mental health comes into the picture, right? So whatever that you do now, it's stick to your own passion. What do you like? What are you good at? What I'm interested in? So then go through that path and be good at it. So that's important. Okay? Am I answering your question? Okay. The next one.
Hello. Okay, so my name is Dini. So I have actually a lot of questions actually. So during your time studying in Sarawak, do you join any club activities also? So that's my first question. My other question is, when you came back work in Malaysia, does your salary differ from others who are studying locally? And the expectation from the company, does it differ from people who are studied local? That's all.
Okay, not much banyak sangat, dua je. Okay, alright, okay, I'm good with that. Okay, so the first question, do I join anything? Of course, there's so many clubs. At one point, I think I want to join cheerleader club, So because that was so much fun. So I actually joined we have Malaysian Society Edinburgh over there. Right, so I was part of their treasury or secretary. So all the events throughout Edinburgh that involve Malaysian communities, I was part of them. So that's kind of interesting. So that is on your Malaysian communities. So how about your international communities? I also was part of the actuarial club. They have, so you guys you're the SESCOM, they also have, right? So like they have their own bowling session, their introductory session, their Sudoku session. That's what we do lah, actuarial kan. So yeah, I mean I joined almost everything, and we have that, it's called Malaysian nights, international nights. So we're part of the cultural activities. So you see, one thing that maybe I'm very glad that I did was that I put myself out there, confidently. I don't care lah, I cakap English pun trouble juga. I mean, imagine they are Scottish, man. How do you you can never. But then you are confident, so you are there anyway. I mean, it's very shameful kalau you feel so very malu. I mean, jauh-jauh malu buat apa kan? So that's the part lah. So you have to be confident. Even here, you have to build that confidence here. Doesn't matter, you go as far as UK or you go as far as Johor ke, you have to be confident at all times, right? So yeah, I think back in diploma also, I joined almost every activities. I joined the CSR. So if these students here, you guys are not so active during diploma, it's fine. I mean, not that you can turn back time, but you have your time in degree. Okay, study juga. Social pun kena balance. That's when you have a so-called work-life balance in your age. Okay, the second one, what was the second one? Sorry, I forgot. Dini? Oh, different gaji. Okay, yeah. Azmi, can I talk about the basic pay for the past 5 years? Can I talk about it? Okay, so basically, when I came back, I applied for the job. It's the same basic pay. I think at that time, average the whole Malaysia was 2018, about 3,500 macam tu lah. That's the basic lah. So then I asked around, your berapa kan? Sama je, 3,500. Sama je. I have friends that graduated from UiTM also working at the other banks, working at the other MNC, working at the other insurance company. That at that point of time lah, 2018, it was 3,500. Now I don't know lah. So even with so-called overseas qualification, I mean, back in the days when I never had that mindset. Kalau I graduate university postcode di UK, when I came back, my treatment should be different. I still, the first day, orang still suruh I photostat benda, sama juga. You know, so what I want to say is that it really doesn't matter whether you graduated from local university or overseas universities. Overseas university really sounds so fancy. It is, because nama pun overseas, kan, it was like 1,000 miles away. But the importance is that what did you bring back lah? Kan, what did you bring back? What you can contribute. But at the end of the day, you go to the same company, you get the same job, for instance, and you get the same basic pay, and you get the same benefit, and you get the same treatment. So that's what I got in Etiqa, and I think I'm very glad that I start my career in Etiqa, and I'm able to maneuver my career growth to something that very dear to my heart, which is analytics. Like I said, you must find what you like the most, and you have to be good at it. You cannot do something that you like but you're not good at it. It's going to be a waste of your time. You're still young, so find the things that you like, that you love the most, and you're good at it, and you pursue that. That's important. Okay, Dini. Alright, any other questions? Okay, I think this side langsung okay girls, you good? Okay, cantik semua. Okay, any other question? If none, you can connect to me professionally also through LinkedIn, or later if you have any chance to talk, if you get any questions. I understand because you tengah diploma, you have your degree, you have the internship opportunities and whatnot. This is why we are here today, to tell you that such opportunities available, and we want you, provided that you also can contribute to us individually. Okay? Alright, I think that will be all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Mrs. Alin Shahira, Betty Abdul Halim, for your insightful exposure. We deeply appreciate the engaging insights you have shared with us. Before we introduce our next speaker, I would like to remind all of our students from the side of the room, if you have any question, please do approach the microphone that is provided in the middle of the room. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, continuing with the third speaker of the day, I would like to introduce Ladies and gentlemen, continuing with the third speaker of the day, I would like to introduce Mrs. Aina Kamila Baharudin. Mrs. Aina finished her secondary education at Tunku Kursia College. Then, she pursued tertiary education at Harriet Ward University, where she earned a degree in Bachelor's of Actuarial Science with honor. Mrs. Aina is qualified actuary with over 12 years of experience in life insurance, takaful family, pensions, and investment industry. Mrs. Aina has been a part of Etiqa Insurance and Takaful for 5 years now. During 5 years, Mrs. Aina was nominated for Best Young May Banker Award in 2020. Her current position as Head of Actual Financial, she does statutory valuation reporting, including DNM, RBC, and IFRS 17 reporting, among other things. Ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed with today's event, let us extend a warm welcome to our third speaker, Mrs. Aina Kamila Baharudin.
Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. Macam semua dah dapat banyak sangat information, I don't know what I can share that can be additional, but I guess I can start with my actuarial career. Okay, but maybe before I start, can I just ask everyone in this room, siapa yang choose actuarial out of their own choosing or were forced to do it or ikut kawan? Okay, so siapa yang memang nak jadi actuary? Okay. Okay, not bad. Maybe around less than 50%, unfortunately. The rest, just ikut kawan. Okay. Alright, so maybe I'll start with my actuarial journey lah. Sorry, siapa nama MC? Hazira, okay. Sedap suara Hazira, macam stewardess. Apa ni? Okay, so I studied here actually in Seremban, my high school, and then I did A-levels, and then I studied actuarial science in Herod for 3 years. And then I wanted to work in the UK, just to see how it is. So I applied and I got a role in pensions consulting. Okay, and then I was working in the UK for about 6 years. So I started in pensions consulting, and then pensions investment consulting, and then things got a bit lonely there. So I decided to come back here, and then I got a job with Etiqa. I started in conventional life insurance in valuation, and then this year actually I just moved to family takafu in financial reporting. So it's a subdivision under actuarial valuation. So that is my career. And when I was studying in the UK, alhamdulillah, like in the UK, the work-life balance there is good lah. So you are able to really focus and make sure that you do your exams. So I qualified in the UK. So when I came back, then I was already qualified lah. So I didn't have to bother with exams. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm not very good with like promoting actuarial, but that's my actuarial journey. So I don't know. Maybe we can just go with questions. I don't know. Okay, sorry. Okay, so when I was in pensions consulting, so okay, do you guys in diploma, do you already start studying like life insurance, models, pensions? Pensions ada tak? Ada, bosan. Ada, sikit lah, okay. So in the UK, dekat sana, a lot of the companies have their own pension schemes tau. So it's like, they call it defined benefit pension scheme, so it's similar to the government pension scheme here. So what they do is they promise you, okay, when you retire, we pay you a portion of your salary every year until you meninggal. So because of that, they need actuaries to value those liabilities. Interesting stuff. So that's what I was doing. Kat the UK, dekat Malaysia ada satu je, or maybe LTAT juga, yang defined benefit pension scheme where they need actuarial. But over there in the UK, a lot of the companies have this kind of pension scheme. Okay, and then so that's on the liability side, and then on the asset side. So then I decided I wanted to venture into investment. So I went into the asset side in pensions consulting. So in actuarial, have you guys know about asset liability matching? No? And it will always be there in your face. You'll be like, stop. But it's kind of like macam you have your liability side, okay, and then your liability will move, okay, because liability ni macam is a future promise of what you promise the policyholders or your pensioners, what you're going to pay to them in the future. So you need to value that. So it will fluctuate over time, based on your liability, your customer profile, based on inflation, based on interest rate, all that. So we needed to value that. So on the asset side, they want to be able to match that liability. They want to be able to, kalau you dah promise orang tu nak bayar masa dia dah retire, you need to make sure the assets can pay those cash flows. Okay, and then some of the consideration for asset liability matching is the way your liability move. We want your asset to also move. I feel like I sound like a lecturer right now. But your asset also need to move the same way as your liability lah. So that's asset liability matching. So that's what I was doing in pensions investment consulting. So over there, we had to deal with a lot of trustees. So these trustees ni yang jaga the pension scheme tu lah. So kita kena educate them, you know, what is pension scheme, how you value the liabilities, what it all means. So a lot of that, a lot of consulting. And then at the same time, for a pension scheme dekat UK, we also had to advise them on defined contribution. Have you guys heard of that? No. So defined contribution ni is macam EPF. Okay, so you just letak duit je dalam EPF tu. So masa you retire, you get the money. So they define the contribution, how much you need to contribute into the pension scheme. So that's why it's called defined contribution. Okay, whereas yang macam government pension scheme, they define the benefit. So it's called defined benefit. Okay, so we had to do a lot of those defined contribution designs. And then when I came back in Malaysia pension punya industry is not so huge. But there are like consulting firms like Actuarial Partners. You can work for EPF also. They have a liability punya division. So I thought maybe I should dip my toes in insurance. So then I went to insurance. It was quite a steep learning curve, I would say, because the liability profile is how much we need to pay them, and it's pretty standard across all the pensioners. But for insurance, it's very based on because there are a lot of products. So different products will have different liability profile. So you can't just look at the liability and then you see how it moves and then like, oh, I know why it's moved this way. Because in insurance ada banyak gila produk. Ada macam short term product, long term product. Okay, so that was something I need to learn. And then also the regulation side. So siapa tahu who's the regulator of insurance companies in Malaysia? Bank Negara, yes. So Bank Negara is very strict. They have so for Takaful, they have the Takaful operational framework. So you need to look at those guidelines to value your liabilities, and then you need to compute quarterly valuations to Bank Negara. Okay, so on the regulation side, you need to know how the regulation works, and then Bank Negara is always trying to think of ways to make it more efficient, more relatable based on moving time. So it's always changing. So we just went through one change. So whenever Bank Negara has a regulation change, what they would do is they would release this things called exposure draft to all the insurers to get them to quantify how you impact them, and then from there they will consolidate all the information, and then they will then know, okay, is this practical to implement or not. So the regulation side was also one thing I needed to pick up on, because actuarial is like a very the reason why actuaries exist is because we need to sign off stuff, right? I mean the core actuarial lah. So it's very regulatory based. Okay, so my career is very different from Ash and Alin, because they're not like the traditional actuary. I'm like the vanilla actuary. But having said that, if I were to echo whatever this guy said, in Etiqa, they just recently went through this like transformation program where they want to break silos. Okay, with insurance companies, right, we have to work with a lot of other departments. It's key to how good you can do your work, how efficient you will become. So like actuarial is very back end. Like we don't just churn numbers. Like we have to work with operations team. Like now I'm going through a project where, because I need to tell the operations team what data I need from the system. So then I tell operations team, okay, I need this, and then when I already come up with that change requirement, like what I want, then we have to go through a whole testing, and it will involve operations team, it will involve finance team, because finance will be affected from all those postings. When you have premium coming in, you have claims going out, and then it will automatically go into your system, and then it will generate finance postings. So like we really need to cooperate with a lot of other departments. And you need to learn what other departments do. Okay, so one way, so I've touched on all the traditional actuarial. Okay, so you need to be on top of your actuarial skills, but at the same time, it's very important that you remain commercial in terms of your knowledge, and you need to work with the other departments. You need to be able to communicate well. Okay. Alright, and then another thing I like to touch on, I worked in life, conventional, sorry, and then I moved to Takaful. Does anyone know what is Takaful? How does it differ from conventional? Okay, these questions I'm asking are all the questions I ask when I interview candidates. So yeah, it will be beneficial for you guys. So what is Takaful?
Dia lebih follow syariah.
Sorry, please sharing. Yes, very good, very good. Okay. No, Sharia pun very good, don't worry. Yeah. So Takaful is Sharia compliant. Okay. At the end of the day, it's just apa yang allowed in Sharia. Takaful is the Sharia compliant insurance. Some countries call it Islamic insurance. So some of the concepts in Takaful is like the risk sharing lah. Because like for conventional, the insurer take the risk. Okay, you just bayar je premium, and then kalau you meninggal, and then you have a big lump sum that you have to pay, and the risk is borne to the insurer. Tapi kalau in Takaful, what they do is, okay, I'm a policy holder, Ash is a policy holder. Okay, so we both contribute to the fund. Okay, and then kalau ada claim lah, tak nak cakap siapa. Kalau ada claim, then the risk is shared between the two of us. Okay, kalau fund tu tak cukup, ada deficit, kita dua yang kena suffer from it lah. Tapi bank negara will have regulations to make it more fair lah. So the insurer will give a loan to meet the deficit, stuff like that. So just one thing lah kan about actuarial ni, it's very vanilla. Okay, you need to really ask yourself, you want to be actuary, or you want to do other things, operations, business, sales, data analytics. You ask yourself that, but you don't need to know it from day one. Okay, you can try a few things, but don't just like 1 tahun or sebulan seminggu dah. No, you try it first. You try 2 years. Okay, you try 2 years, and then you tengok you suka tak. Kalau you tak, then maybe you can try, because I'm valuation, ada pricing team. Okay, so pricing team is the one yang when Ali cakap I want this product Aina, then I kena price. The pricing team, kalau I pricing team, I kena price. How much premium I need to charge? So you guys learn this kan in your actuarial, how to set the premium, right? So ada pricing team, ada valuation team, lepas tu ada product team, ada operations team. So you can try. And then one thing with Etiqa, they will rotate you. We always I think Human Capital ada this one new initiative where we can rotate lah, and then we can identify which department we want to try. So just a piece of advice, don't be too scared. You learn actuarial, maybe you should give it a go. If you guys feel passionate about it, give it a go. And then if you tak suka 2 years, then you can try a completely different department or a different subdivision under actuarial maybe. Okay, so that's one dilemma I had actually, because I macam alamak, like bosannya kan. Tapi and then macam you feel like you want to give something. You want your career to be meaningful. You want to make an impact. That's what I wanted. So when I moved to Takaful, so again, Etiqa suka upskill, so they made us all, everyone in Takaful, so Etiqa ada 2 Takaful companies, the life side and the general side. So they made all of us attend a certified Sharia Takaful practitioner course. Okay, it's a 3 months course, but not like 3 months full, no, it's like a few days in a week, macam tu. And then so they teach you, why Sharia, the basics of Sharia, what makes Takaful, and then all the regulations surrounding Takaful. So it was very, very informative for me. And then you feel like macam okay, and then this whole Takaful thing kan, it's like it's for the policyholder. Some people they shy away, or not shy away, they are pessimistic about buying insurance. Okay, but actually insurance is important. Okay, I just had a baby, so macam you need to think of, when you pass away, you need to give something to your baby. So that's why insurance is important. And then on top of that, what makes it more meaningful is the Takaful part. Because for the Takaful part, is risk sharing. And then if there's any surplus, kalau the experience is better, kalau tak banyak orang claim, then the surplus is shared amongst the policyholders. So that's another thing about takaful. So it's surplus sharing. There's a surplus sharing element to it. So that part macam make me feel like, okay, there's some meaning. There's some meaning in my career. Okay, so and then we have like Etiqa is trying to come up with cheap products. We actually have very very cheap products. You pay 100 ringgit a month, you can get like coverage for about 100,000 or more actually. I don't know, I think it's 500,000 if I'm not mistaken, the ETF one. So they try to cater to the underserved. Okay, so they give you cheap insurance policies, so you are so your dependents are protected. So when I thought of that angle, the takaful part, because I'm Muslim, so takaful part, and then the nak bagi very affordable insurance, then macam it gave me meaning lah. So it motivated me to go up early in the morning to go to work. And I think so this is something that I think you guys will be able to think of more as you progress in your career. But if you figure it out now, it's even better lah. So, but it doesn't matter. It's a whole process. So just go with the flow. So I think that's it. But maybe I can touch on one thing about a few questions just now. There's a lot of questions about working or not working, studying overseas, studying here. You feel like, oh, studying overseas is so great. But actually, a lot of my colleagues, my teammates, a lot of them, I think about 80% are local, and they are very good, very good. And it all comes down to how motivated you are, okay, how hardworking you are, how creative you are, because we don't want someone who just goes by the book, 9 to 5 balik, no. You want someone who's engaging and who wants to contribute to the team in a positive way. So I don't see any difference lah. I definitely don't see any difference. When I interview candidates from overseas, from Malaysia, sometimes I prefer the local ones. So it's not necessary when you study overseas you are like a notch above every other people, but no, because at the end of the day it's how well you are in your interview. And of course, if you want to interview for an actuarial role, it's good for you to have some actuarial knowledge. Like I always ask standard questions like, what is liability, what is reserve? How you calculate liabilities? What is discounting? Do you guys know discounting? Yeah, time value of money. You need to discount all your cash flows with the interest. So it's just basic things you need to know, and the rest is all your attitude, and it's how you carry yourself in interview, and then when you go to work, then it's how you make of it when you start working. Okay? Does anyone have any questions? Ni belah-belah sini ni tadi dah kena tag. You want a microphone here? Jawablah nak. Okay.
So first, my name is Muhammad Nishasfa, and I have 3 questions. The first one is so you said earlier that you occasionally interview candidates from time to time, right? Okay, so what do you look at first when looking at a candidate's CV? Do you look at their CGPA or their curricular activities, or do you look at their what's called LinkedIn too? Secondly,
Sorry, LinkedIn.
Penat. Okay, secondly, what do you look for when interviewing a candidate when they are in front of you? Like Mr. Azmi first said that he looked at their desire to learn. What other than that do you look for? Do you look at their body language or their outfit or their appearance? And then the third question is, can you give us some pointer on how to excel better at interview? For example, like how to prepare for it, or what to research about the company and so on. Alright, thank you. That's it.
Okay. Thanks for traveling so far. So the first one is what I look out for to select the candidates to interview, right? Betul ke? Okay. Actually, of course the CGPA would help. And then kalau ada some work experience, so one good thing about UiTM is they make you guys do internship, kan? Yeah. So it's basically that. No macam, I mean unless CGPA you 2 point something, tak boleh lah. Tapi kalau ada 3 above tu dah okay lah. So macam we don't straight away tengok CV tu terus tak nak. We don't do that. But your CGPA needs to be good lah. And then what was the other thing I said just now? Your internship. Okay. And then during the interview itself. Sorry, is that okay for the first question? Okay. So the important part is during the interview itself, okay? So during the interview itself, okay, when I interview some candidates, I know, because it's Zoom, now we still at the era of Zoom, I know that some candidates chat GPT when I ask them questions. And because they answer me like some generic statements, and then when I try to ask them again, and then macam they just repeat something completely different that you just read it. And I didn't know that they chat GPT until, because I was interviewing him with my colleague, and then my colleague said, Aina, they chat GPT. I said, how do you know? Lepas tu they Google my question tu, they chat GPT my question, the same answer came out. Like, word for word, verbatim. So I macam, oh, okay, this is bad. Okay? So that's my, okay, I combine the second and third question together lah. So that's my tip. Please don't chat GPT, okay? Chat GPT sebelum, okay? Not during, okay? And then, so because of that, I already asked, macam when I interview, I want to see their top half body. But anyway, so don't chat GPT. Integrity is important. If you tak tahu, you cakap je you tak tahu. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, because we know when we ask, some candidates are macam out of the job, out of studies for like half a year or something. So just say, sorry, I don't know. Okay, and then maybe you can macam maybe guess something, and then maybe we can help you. I like to help them along lah. I have some of my colleagues who macam okay, tak boleh. But yeah, so maybe you can guess something, but yeah, so that's the first tip. Don't chat GPT questions. If you don't know a question, just say you don't know. Okay, and second, okay lah, do some research lah sebelum tu. It's not hard. I swear, my questions are not hard. Like, it's just whatever you've learned in uni. Okay, so and I'm somehow a lot of the candidates I'll say like 80% cannot answer. I don't know why. Okay. So just those basic actuarial questions, especially if tengoklah you interview role apa. Kalau you interview role actuarial evaluation, you just learn sikit lah, like what is liability. If you interview with Ash operations, maybe you can, I don't know, nanti Ash tanya Ash lah. Okay, so yeah, so make sure you research lah a bit about the role, preempt some questions. When I was attending interviews, I did a lot of research, and then this was back then like I don't know how many years ago, a decade ago, and tak ada ChatGPT. So I just Google what questions will this company ask me, and ada banyak chat rooms, So just do research before that. And then she lupa. Tu je. Okay, yeah. So at the end of the day, just prepare for the interview and have a good attitude. Okay, sorry, last time. Just some experience when I was interviewing some candidates. I actually preferred if the candidate is more candid. Macam so like robotic, so stoic. Kalau takut macam maybe dia nak ask English tapi dia takut dia punya English tu dia macam tu. So you just be yourself. That's actually the most beneficial advice I got for interviews. Just be yourself. And that's okay. Because that's the best form of yourself, is just be yourself. Okay? Yeah. Sorry, you wanted to ask me? You can come here. Okay, I can hear you, and then I can repeat it to the rest.
Okay, so I want to emphasize more on the part where the social. You also look at their social like LinkedIn. You like read through their LinkedIn of a candidate.
I will look.
LinkedIn.
Sometimes I don't know. I don't really look at their LinkedIn, and whatever's on their LinkedIn is basically what's on their CV. I don't try to Instagram them. I don't I don't try to find all that lah. Macam fine. So yeah. So yeah, maybe you can. It helps if you guys just do a LinkedIn profile. But if tak ada, it's not the end all.
Okay.
Just to add, regarding interview kan, especially kalau interview tu via Zoom, one thing I notice kebanyakan fresh grad, dia akan siapkan skrip tau. Lepas tu dia akan baca satu persatu, identical. Kalau boleh jangan buat macam tu boleh tak? Sebab when you start with the script, lancar je bercakap kan, and then tiba-tiba time kita tanya soalan, terkakak. So you can have bullet points, guides, tapi jangan sediakan skrip sebab memang ketara, right? That's one. I think sebab saya punya department kita banyak interview interns dengan protege, so mungkin 9 out of 10 baca skrip untuk the introduction punya section. Saya Azimi, blah blah blah. I'm Azimi, I'm blah blah blah. Lancar. And then when we ask questions, so you can have something to guide you, point form, bullet form tak apa, tapi jangan baca verbatim. Okay, itu tips saya.
Oh, and one more thing when I ask one of the interview questions is tell me about yourself, and people somehow feel macam I just want formal answers like what's your CGPA? No. I want to know what's your interest. You know, kalau you cakap you suka badminton ke, you suka buat sudoku ke, you know, it makes you more human. So include that in your answer for telling me about yourself. Okay. Kalau tak ada, I pass to Azim. Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, so my name is Nur Shafiqa. So you just mentioned that you had a baby just now. So I just want to ask, as a woman working in actuary and you have a family, how do you actually manage your time? Because we all know that actuary works is such very heavy. Yeah, so how do you adapt to that?
Yeah, I think some more question yang tadi about mental health. It's not easy, I would say, but okay, where do I start with this? So it helped that I finished my exams before I had a baby, but it's very hard to do exams when you already have a family, especially as a woman, because kita nak di mak ni macam asyik ada mom guilt. So if you can, you finish your exams. If those yang nak finish, nak go all the way to qualifying, then you do it before you have a baby, okay? But you know, baby's timing is not on you, semua daripada Allah. So how I manage, it's important. Okay, firstly, it's important to have help, okay? I have help. I have my mom nearby. My mom duduk dekat je, so minta tolong dia. Tapi again, not everyone has help, okay? So that's why now a lot of parents send their kids to school sampai pukul 6 petang. But one thing about Etiqa is now macam kita ada hybrid, so we can work from home, work from office. So when you work from home, then you have some kind of flexibility. So maybe what for me I do is after like 7 I finish my work, I play with my baby kejap, put her to sleep, and then sambung kerja. But not all the time lah, okay? I don't want to paint a bleak picture for you all. But only when it's busy period, okay? Because kita reporting kan, so ada like deadline. So yeah, that's how I manage it lah. And you really need a good support from your parents, from your spouse. Yeah, so that's how I do it. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Hi. So Miss Aina is a qualified actuary, am I right? So how to be qualified actuary, we have to complete all the papers. So how long do you took to complete all the paper to get qualified, and how do you like manage all the struggles on completing? Because I heard like people fail 4 times and so on for one paper. So, yeah.
So like Alin, I got, so when I was doing, I did the UK punya IFOA. You guys do IFOA ke SOA?
Yeah,
IFOA, okay. You guys dapat you guys
The UK version.
you guys dapat exemptions?
Degree nanti.
Masa degree nanti berapa? 6? 4. Okay. Sekarang ada 6 je kan? 6 plus 1 lah, right? For the first stage. So I got exemption. So we have 4 stages back then. I don't know now. Sekarang CP kot. Dulu my time was CP. So I got the exemptions from CP 1 to 8. So I had like maybe around 8, 9 papers. I can't remember. I started in 2012. I finished in 2015. So that's my exam journey. So what was good when I was doing my exams was I did fail. The one paper I failed twice and then I passed it on the 3rd attempt. So failing is completely normal. I had a friend who just failed their paper 8 times. And then they pass and then they qualify. So so macam that's why I said you need to do your exam cepat-cepat lah masa you start kerja tu. So one thing good when I was doing my exams was the work-life balance I had. And then my bosses, like we had a system where all the companies will give you study days. So what my staff, they like to do is they like to kumpul their study day towards the end, balun belajar, lepas tu esok exam. Cannot, that one cannot. So what I did was we had to stagger the study days once a week. So if I had like 8 days of study days, so before the exam you count backwards and then maybe I took it like 2 months before, right? So the 1 day every time. And then one thing that I thought was really helpful when I like failed the exam twice, then I'm up. So what was helpful was you have to do the exam under time condition yourself. Okay, because paper dia 3 jam kan. So you macam, so what helped me was I went to the library, I sat down and then did the paper under time condition for 3 hours myself. So macam that helped you with the discipline, with the the preparation. So on the day pun you tak macam amat takutnya. So that really helped me lah. So that was my exam journey. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Tak ada. Okay. Then I pass to sini. Oh sorry. Oh lupa sorry.
Thank you, Mrs. Aina Kamila Baharudin, for the valuable insights you have shared with us. We greatly appreciate the depth and clarity of your presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, continuing with the 4th speaker, I would like to introduce Mr. Azimi Wan Ahmad. Mr. Azimi graduated with a degree in Business Administration Hospitality with first-class honor from Le Rocher Global Hospitality Education, Switzerland. Mr. Azimi has over 27 years of working experience since 1997. Mr. Azimi earned a certificate of completion in managing public relations effectively from the Institute of Professional Advancement and was selected as the top 3 social entrepreneur for Malaysian Global Innovation and Creativity Center or MAGIC in 2018. Currently in Etiqa Insurance and Takaful Berhad, he has been responsible as head of talent branding since April this year. Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward with this event, let's welcome our 4th speaker and also our last speaker for today, Mr. Azimi Wan Ahmad.
Very natural, she's got a very good speaking voice. Okay, so hi, Assalamualaikum. Saya Azimi Wan Ahmad. I'm the head of talent branding in Etiqa since April, so saya agak baru. Alright, so my part is actually probably the most boring part lah kot. Sebab yang lain speaker sebelum ni banyak sharing pasal perjalanan hidup akademik as well as professional kan. My part is going to be very straightforward, a little bit technical. Tapi first and foremost, so far kat sini siapa berminat untuk join Etiqa as an intern ataupun protege? Angkat tangan. I don't think it's 100%. Yang tak angkat tangan tu kenapa? Pani tak nak lah buat talk kat sini. Okay. Alright, so I just want to introduce Etiqa lah. Okay, before this, I think some of you did not know bahawa Etiqa ni sebahagian daripada kumpulan Maybank, right? Who here did not know Etiqa was under Maybank? Just this is for my own reference lah. Jangan do just raise your hand. Can I see a raise your hand? So yang kat tangan tu tak tahu yang Etiqa bawa kumpulan Maybank. That's okay. Okay, so I need to do a little bit more work lah. Alright. Okay, so pengenalan tentang Etiqa. Just a quick one, right? So Etiqa adalah peneraju utama insurans dan takaful ASEAN di bawah kumpulan Maybank. And di Etiqa kami menawarkan pelbagai produk insurans konvensional, hayat dan serta plan takaful keluarga dan merentasi pelbagai saluran pengedaran lebih daripada 10,000 ejen, 46 cawangan dan 17 pejabat serta lebih daripada 490 rangkaian banka assurance melalui kehadiran kami di Malaysia, Singapura, Filipina, Indonesia dan Malaysia. Okay. Ada tak suara iklan? Okay. Alright, okay, so saya nak bagi gambaran program latihan industri because you guys will be joining your internship program, right? What's internship for you guys?
Latihan industri.
Bila?
Degree nanti.
Degree nanti, so diploma level tak ada? Okay, so sediakan pen and paper ataupun mobile phone. I'll just be reading facts regarding internship so that you can take note, so that in the future when you are ready to embark on your internship journey, you know who to find and what to do. Okay, so kita punya internship ni ataupun latihan industri terbuka kepada semua disiplin ilmu, dan in terms of the tempo, dia punya duration tu 8 minggu hingga setahun. So kita tak apa rigid. Ada setengah company tu they require at least 3 months, at least 6 months, but at Etiqa we even have interns yang sebulan, ada yang setahun. Voluntary internship pun kita ada, so kita terima je. Dari segi allowance, you all mesti nak tahu kan pasal bab duit ni kan? That's the famous question. Etiqa punya internship berapa yang gaji? So kita tak bagi gaji tapi bagi allowance. So allowance is quite standard, is quite market rate sekarang, RM50 sehari, but not sehari, is working day. So whenever you work, you get RM50. Okay. So in a nutshell, dalam sebulan mungkin about RM1,100 in a nutshell. So I think that's quite okay. Okay tak? Boleh kan? Okay. Alright. And also at Etiqa kita pun ada bagi allowance macam overtime. So kalau you overtime, you dapatlah sejam RM7. Okay kan? Alright. And then there is also cuti. You get 1 day in a month that you can actually take a break. Ataupun you boleh kumpulkan sampai hujung and then take a break. Tapi of course you need to get your line manager, your hiring manager punya approval. So benda ni kena ada advance planning. So you have to manage your time well. Jangan kumpul-kumpul at the end of your program baru nak ambil cuti. Tak dikalkan lah. Alright. Okay, I just want to share some statistics with regard to internships and also fresh grads kat Etiqa. So, did you know that a total of 78 interns were onboarded just this year alone? 78 interns. Ramai kan? Tapi just imagine, kita punya application beratus. But we get 78 because it also depends on kita punya capability, our capacity. Can we kalau boleh kita nak semua orang join Etiqa and get benefit out of it, right? So, because at Etiqa, all interns will be working like a full-time employee. Kerja-kerja yang kita beri semua jenis-jenis yang betul memberikan ilmu and exposure and pengalaman. It's not just some days I know from feedback from oh bos saya suruh buat photocopy ataupun suruh buat filing, tapi at Etiqa our hiring managers and our line managers are very serious about educating and giving exposure to interns. So expect that. So out of the 78 interns this year, cuba teka berapa daripada UiTM? Persen-persen tak nak lah, saya tak kerti maths. Itu saya kerja HR. Okay, we have 23 from UiTM and UiTM is the highest. Yeah. So some people kata, tapi ialah macam tadi ada soalan tentang local and international universities. So as you can see, if UiTM students are the highest number of interns at Etiqa, it shows that we don't discriminate. Okay. So as of 30th September 2024, we have a total of 35 students undergoing internships at Etiqa. So at the moment, kita ada 35 students or interns at Etiqa. And guess what? 33% are undergoing their bachelor's in actuarial science. So that's the highest, 33%. Out of all the faculties yang kita ada dekat Etiqa sekarang, highest is actuarial science. So this means, what does that mean? It means that we welcome actuarial science students. As long as you guys are willing to be open-minded about where you are based. So as an actuarial science students, macam, oh I nak buat actuarial je. As long as you're open-minded, inshallah there will be a place for you. Alright, so another statistic. In 2023, 4 interns became protégés, 5 interns became contract staff, and 1 became permanent staff. Okay, so there is hope. So some people say, what happens after internship? If you perform well, if there is that vacancy, there is potential for you to grow with us, either as a contract staff or permanent staff. Whatever is offered to you, just take it, because you are fresh grads, right? Eventually you become fresh grads. So jangan terlalu narrow-minded. Don't be so fixated on what you want to do. Take any opportunities that come in front of you. Because we have this protégé program. Protégé program ni pernah dengar tak? Sebelum ni, pernah kan? We get a lot of students, fresh grad yang kata, saya tak nak. Alright, so one more statistic. In 2024, we have a total of 171 new hires within Etiqa Malaysia, of which 16% come from an actuarial background. 16%, okay? And that is 28 individuals out of 171. Among these, 10 are fresh grads from university, representing 6% of our total permanent new hires this year. So we do accept fresh grads juga lah. Alright, so siapa nak tahu pasal internship process kat Etiqa? That's not 100%, that's like 98%. Okay. Alright, so mudah. Take down this email address, humancapital@etiqa.com.my. humancapital@etiqa.com.my. Dapat? Last time. humancapital@etiqa.com.my. Okay, cool. So dia punya proses mudah saja. What happens is when you send us an email with your cover letter and your resume, kita akan kongsikan CV anda kepada pengurus pengambilan ataupun what we call hiring managers. So we have a lot of hiring managers because Etiqa is a company consisting of 3,000 employees roughly around in total workforce. So setiap unit tu ada hiring managers. So we will send it to the relevant hiring managers. Kita tengok CV you, kita tengok oh ini sesuai dengan ni. Oh, this hiring manager is looking for support, looking for intern. Okay, jom kita try pass. So when that happens, the hiring manager will look at your CV. So this is a tip on CV building. Bagi tip sikit pasal CV. not all CVs should be the same. It shouldn't be a copy and paste stuff. So if you're applying to an insurance company, tailor make your CV so that it is skewed towards the insurance industry. So you can talk about, promote your actual science background, some of your activities that you've done under the actual science club, for example, compared to if you were to apply for another job. So make sure your CV bukan sama untuk setiap bidang, setiap industry. Dia kena memang fokus ataupun tailor make it so that it is relevant to the insurance industry. Yeah? That's just one biggest tip. Alright, so after a hiring manager is interested in your CV, what happens? Human Capital, my team at Human Capital will give you a call. Dia nak tanya lah, awak ni berminat tak dengan Etiqa? Kita ada peluang untuk internship. Dia punya job description macam ni. Why do we do this? We do this to see whether or not you really want it, whether or not you're interested in the position, whether or not you are still looking for internship placement. Mungkin you dah dapat secure tempat lain kan? So we do this. It's called saringan lah. With internship, it depends. Some hiring managers nak interview juga. Dia nak interview. So be prepared for that and come prepared. Research a bit about Etiqa, research a bit about the department. You can ask the human capital person. If you get a call from human capital about this internship placement, tanya dia. This one is for which position? You ask. Which department is this? Why you ask is so that you can actually find out what the department does, so that you come prepared for the interview. But there's some hiring managers dia tak nak interview sebab dia kata tak apalah, this is internship saja, sekejap je, 3 bulan punya duration. So that one is up to the hiring manager's discretion. Okay, so after you get an offer, setelah mendapat tawaran, kita akan minta dokumen lah. Dokumen, macam mana? Dokumen salinan IC, sijil pendidikan, transkrip akademik dan surat latihan industri daripada universiti. And then after that, Maybank akan issue surat tawaran. Okay? So itu saja dia punya langkah-langkah untuk apply internship dengan Etiqa. Any questions? Straightforward? Okay, sila.
So, about internship, did your company absorb interns from the internship program into permanent position at Etiqa? And what qualifications or criteria do they consider for conversion to permanent positions?
Okay. Is that your question or are you asking on behalf of someone?
This is my question.
Your question. It's a very good question, but I think I answered it already. Ada orang tak pay attention. So jawapannya yes, we do consider, but it depends on few things. It depends on the vacancy. Yeah, depends on the vacancy of that particular department. Ada tak jawatan kosong? Because as a business, we have to manage our cost, and labor is the highest cost, as you know that. So kita ada allocation, setiap department ada allocation untuk headcount. And also it depends on your personality and your performance. Etiqa is all about performance. What we say awal-awal in every interview and every induction program, orientation program, kita akan sebut benda ni. Etiqa is not for everybody. It's very much performance driven, performance based. So if you are somebody who really excels or really shines during your internship, and we see the qualities of your communication skills are good, you are, like I said, hungry to learn, hungry to grow. What we like to say in Etiqa is you have to be a positive busybody. Nak tahu je pasal benda-benda dalam dunia Etiqa. Those kind of qualities are what we look for when we offer a position to a candidate. Did I answer your question? Just for me? Okay.
If I may add to that point, so you was asking intern can be absorbed. So one of your senior was actually did internship under my team for 5 months, and then because he was so good through his deliverables and output, we gave him the platform to present his output to the management, to the CEO and our GP CEO. And because he was that good, 2 months down the road, we absorbed him, and now he's actually under my team permanently. So just to add to Azimi's point, so here in Etiqa we all measure outputs, your deliverables, your visibility. So that's what we treasure lah, if I can put it that way. Yeah, that's a sample case yang successful lah. Alright, thanks.
If I can vouch to that, my team also absorbing people coming from protege and also internship. Yeah.
Tak silap, team you ada 3 orang kan yang potential jadi permanent. So potential program macam saya cakap tadi 8 bulan, tapi dalam 8 bulan tu yang 3 orang ni betul-betul perform, dapat offer untuk jadi permanent staff.
So maybe another note, if you guys doing protege or internship, do it well. Jangan buat internship just sekadar to complete your studies. Do with all your heart, show your talent, show your hardship, so that we can value that and absorb you if you got the rezeki lah, right?
Just to also add, especially in Etiqa, we rather convert an intern or protege to a permanent staff rather than cari orang luar. Sebab you all dah tahu kita punya ekosistem macam mana, kita punya methods and procedure and processes. So better je kita ambil yang ada dalam Etiqa. Tak kisahlah intern ke protege, at least they know budaya, they know our culture. Might as well kita convert terus, rather than kita letak job post dekat LinkedIn ke dekat JobStreet, which will take more time. So that whenever you're in Etiqa, that's the time for you to shine and show yourself. You what?
I have 2 questions. Right, out of statistik yang banyak tu, ada tak daripada diploma graduates? Maksudnya dia tak sambung degree tapi dia intern. And then satu lagi, at one time berapa kapasiti yang boleh di intern kat ISU? Sebab actually diploma actually ni dalam semakan curriculum. So bahkan daripada PT, diploma pun kena ada intern lepas ni. So dan maybe dalam 3 years time from now akan ada student diploma yang akan
Okay, in terms of your first question, diploma dapat job placement dengan Etiqa.
bukan daripada yang statistik banyak tadi, ada tak daripada yang diploma program yang pergi buat internship kat situ? Maksudnya
Oh ada. Memang ada. Kita punya, in fact potential program pun tak semestinya degree, diploma pun ada. Cuma beza kalau diploma holder masuk protege program, dia punya starting allowance lain. Yang allowance tu dia ditetapkan oleh KUSKOP. Tapi ada juga. Tak semestinya degree holder lah. Oh, kita tak ada kuota macam mana. Sebenarnya pulang pada discretion of hiring manager. What human capital does is kita akan forwardkan CV kepada semua hiring manager yang ada, yang memerlukan bantuan ataupun ada placement lah. And because kita dapat banyak application, that's why kita kadang-kadang in some cases kita akan conduct interview, kita buat saringan. To be honest, I think dalam sebulan maybe kita dapat a few hundred CVs lah. Because bukan UiTM saja, contoh kita dapat area award, APU contoh. But kita memang usahakan cari tempat kalau ada lah. We will definitely, tak pernah ada situasi di mana kita akan dapat CV and then kita just tolak ke tepi. Sebab CV datang pada saya, so memang saya akan pastikan the hiring managers will receive a CV for them to consider. Tapi nak bagi nombor ataupun kuota tu memang tak ada. Dia terpulang pada keadaan, nasib and also the time lah, the time, rezeki. Syafiqah.
Yes. Okay, so I have 2 questions. The first one is quite similar to Madam Ashiki punya. The first one is that most of us here are actually in our last semester, so we are graduating next year, March. Okay, so what if we have a gap like between diploma and degree, and we want to continue like between the gap we want to fill in intern. at Etiqa. So we don't have a training letter. So can we still apply, or we have to actually ask our pentadbiran for the training letter? That is my first question. So my second question is, what are the specific benefits do interns get if we come to Etiqa? Like, is there any training provided, and what are the trainings that Etiqa provides? My last question is, does curriculum make the candidates stand out in the interview? Yes. Curriculum as in like if we join clubs and so on, does that make us stand out? Okay, thank you.
Alright. What was your first question? okay, so just kidding. Okay, let me try to remember it. One is benefits, right? I'll just answer based on what I remember.
Okay.
Sorry, uncle. Okay, benefits. To be very fair, the internship, besides the allowance and the leave, itu je. There is no like additional benefits like insurance and all that. And I think that is not just not Etiqa alone, tapi if you go to any other companies, macam tu. Okay. In terms of what was your second question?
My second question is that yang tu lah yang macam if the benefits and other trainings.
Okay. Trainings. Okay. So kita tak ada bagi official training, but there is on the job training, which is actually the most important. Sebab training ni you boleh belajar mana-mana. You boleh masuk LinkedIn punya training program. You can even free on YouTube. That's considered training as well. What is most valuable is actually the on-job training, and your supervisors are the ones, and your peers, your seniors are the ones who will be giving you on-the-job training. So at Etiqa and a lot of companies, we believe the 70-20-10 system. 70% on-the-job training is. I'm just sharing the weightage lah, the priorities. So 70% on-the-job training, 20% based on coaching, and the 10% is based on training yang macam masuk kursus, workshop macam tu. Yeah, so that is the training that can give you lah. Ada satu lagi soalan kan? Tak ingat. Yeah, last kali.
Yang first line tu.
First one.
Is that right now diploma we don't have internship.
Oh, okay.
Training letter.
Faham. Kalau boleh dapatkan surat sokongan daripada universiti, tapi tak wajib, because kita ada je few interns kita panggil voluntary internship. So tapi kena justify lah awal-awal in your application letter, in your CV or your email to us, indicate that you are doing this out of voluntarily. So that's actually a good thing. Rather than you waste your time just waiting, sitting at home, kita nampak semua tu ada value. Oh, budak ni betul-betul nak belajar. So just be upfront in your email. You know, I have completed my diploma, I've done my internship, but I'm interested to apply for a voluntary internship at Etiqa to get further exposure in the industry and to practice my skills and actual science, blah 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 blah.
My last question tadi, does curriculum makes us stand up?
Okay. It does, because it shows what kind of person you are. You're not just book smart, but we want a person who's well-rounded. If you join a lot of clubs, it means that you have some kind of social skills, betul tak? It means you are willing to try new things. You are using your time for things that can upskill you. So shout out about it. The more clubs you join, the better. It gives us an indication that you're a well-rounded person. This is something that we've also, or I personally have observed when interviewing actual science students. I can get in trouble saying this, but there was in a lot of cases I realized that kadang-kadang budak yang score 4.4 flat, they are very smart, but dari segi social skills tu kurang. Communication skills too. So it's actually very important. Okay, on the CV, wow, budak ni score 4 flat. Let's interview him or her. But mungkin dia tak dapat placement sebab mungkin dia tak berani nak bercakap, tak berani nak jualkan diri dengan interviewer. Yeah, so keep that in mind. You might be very good academically, maybe you betul-betul belajar, rajin-rajin. You have to do that. But you have to also consider how you sell yourself, and that includes your social skills. And because Etiqa is an international company, memang interview tu is going to be in English. But that doesn't mean that you cannot express your ideas in Malay. Sebenarnya kita nak dengar your ideas and how you sell yourself and whether or not you have critical thinking, you can analyze. And so doesn't matter, you not explain this in PM, please go ahead. But in Etiqa, because we're an international company, secara tidak langsung, naturally the interviewers will be asking in English. But if you're not comfortable in speaking English, just be honest. Boleh saya cakap dalam bahasa Melayu sebab I can express my thoughts better that way. Okay, so don't be afraid. Don't feel like intimidated. Okay, any more questions? Seriously.
Okay, so as you said just now, there are a lot of people that apply, like 100 people and so on. So as you are like hiring manager or someone that looking for the CV, how you actually cut like the CV? I don't want this person to be interviewed or so on. For example, like for the CV already follow like how the company itself, and so how the company itself. Do you like looking for if the CGPA is like below the average? I don't want this person to be interviewed, or you just give everyone to be interviewed and so on.
Can I just be honest? What happens is every hiring manager will have different set of requirements, and they will have different ways of filtering the CVs, kan? But one thing for sure is when I look at a CV, right? I think dari segi dia punya consistency juga. I just think simple things as spelling error, simple things as font tak consistent, lari. Walaupun benda tu macam some people might feel so petty, kenapa nak kena petty sangat? Tapi sebenarnya it shows who you are as a person. Are you detail oriented? Are you careful when you do your work? So those are the first things that I look for. Macam CV tu dia punya presentation tu macam mana? Because ada yang misspelling, kan? Ada kadang-kadang benda yang basic sangat, like for example, if you know that you're sending an email to me, try to find out is this person like, for example, it happens a lot to macam line managers yang Chinese. Sometimes we cannot tell whether if the Chinese person is a man or woman. Do your extra research. Ask a friend who's Chinese, who's familiar with Chinese names. Sebab banyak case dia Mr. salah padahal orang perempuan. So just be resourceful and take that extra effort to find out a little bit more lah. Tapi to answer your question about what we look for in the CV is grammar also lah. I mean, for me lah, as a human capital person, because I'm the first layer, the consistency in fonts and all that, whether or not. And the thing is, right, there's a lot of templates out there. Sometimes we realize it's just copy and paste. Dia ambil apa yang ada kat internet, lepas tu dia tukar nama dia je, kan? So benda tu kan, sebab kita dapat CV like by the hundreds, we can tell, oh, this is just something that they copy and paste daripada internet. So try visualistic in your CVs. But when it goes to the hiring manager, that one is actually something, everybody has their own preference lah. Macam Aline and Aina have different ways of scrutinizing their candidates. Maybe a little bit more technical, kan? Tapi from the human capital point of view, the presentation lah, yeah, and the authenticity. I hope I answered your question. Macam ni kau pula cik. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, and macam is it like our macam ada targeted academic result or
Can I just, my advice is do your best academically lah. Because if your CGPA is high, that will attract our attention. Oh, budak ni pandai, and rather than those who score low. that will definitely catch our attention. But there are cases that, you know, that person's attitude and personality really shines. That sometimes kita akan tutup sebelah mata walaupun CGPA dia tak apa gempar. Yeah. So it's a combination of things, and it also depends on the hiring manager. If the work is very technical that requires certain skills, then obviously the CGPA is very important. High CGPA is important. But if the job requires you to have social skills with customers, whatever, maybe academic tu tak berapa penting, tapi attitude orang tu, dia punya social skills tu penting, you know. So it depends what you're applying for. Yeah. Belakang saya soalan. Tadi rancak dia tanya soalan. Silakan.
Nama saya Mio Adam. Saya ingin bertanya kepada Tuan Azmi Wan Ahmad. Nama tu macam adik saya tapi dia Ahmad Azimi.
Ejaan Azimi tu macam mana?
Tapi dia ada H lah, Hazimi.
Oh, Hazimi. Macam dia Y ke I?
I.
Okay, saya Y.
Dia teringat lah.
Okay.
Saya ada satu soalan. Seperti mana yang Tuan Azimi memperolehi award apa? Social Entrepreneur.
Oh, social entrepreneur.
Yang Asia tu. Yang Tuan Azimi yang boleh award tu penghargaan tu. Saya ingin tahu organisasi mana yang menilai Tuan dan macam mana Tuan boleh dapat organisasi dan macam mana Tuan boleh dapat award tersebut.
Organisasi
yang menilai.
Okay.
Dan macam mana dia menilai?
Okay. Ini macam lari topik sikit Tapi tak apa,
Curious.
Okay. Pada tahun 2018 ada sebuah agensi kerajaan yang ditubuhkan oleh Kementerian Kewangan Malaysia. Have you heard of MAGIC? Malaysia. Tadi Hazira disebut MAGIC tu apa? Malaysia Innovation, ya Allah, Malaysian Global Innovation Center, Creativity Center, Malaysian Global Innovation Creativity Center, MAGIC. So pada waktu itu MAGIC adalah badan kerajaan yang memberi iktiraf pada syarikat-syarikat ataupun social enterprise. Tapi after kerajaan baru, sekarang pengiktirafan social entrepreneurship tu sekarang tak silap saya di bawah InScan. Have you heard of InScan dekat Cyberjaya? Dia institut untuk usahawan. So masa saya tubuhkan social enterprise saya pada tahun 2018, U4U, company tu masih yang tadi ada, but is now with a different partner. It was certified by MAGIC. Yeah. Did I answer your question? Is that your question to me?
Macam mana dia menilai?
Oh, macam mana dia menilai? Kita harus sertai program social entrepreneurship selama dia panggil accelerator. So accelerator ni kita berkampung di MAGIC selama 6 minggu. So kita tidur, makan semua kat situ. And after the whole program was over, kita orang dapat certificate lah untuk jadi social entrepreneur. Tapi sekarang dia punya kriteria dah berubah. You have to show proof that you are you're giving back to the community ataupun your funds, your profit disalurkan kepada kerja-kerja amal. So dia punya kriteria itu dah berubah. So apa yang pada 2018 tu dah tak apply dah. Ada hasrat nak jadi social entrepreneur ke? Kerja bunyi. Ada tak soalan lain yang berkaitan dengan internship lah kalau boleh? Okay, tak ada. Okay. Kalau ada apa-apa, just email lah kepada humancapital@etiqa.com.my. Boleh? Okay, terima kasih.
Thank you, Mr. Azimi Wan Ahmad, for the insight you have just shared with us. We sincerely value the insightful presentation you just provided. Students, before we continue with the next session, we would like to hold a short Q&A session. If you have any question, please feel free to ask any of our honorable speakers.
Mrs. Aina.
Ya, silakan.
So, about your background, you jump from different sectors in actual punya field. So I want to know because I think our lecturer said that if different sector really has different specialty, like if you become this actuary, it will be really difficult to work as a different actuary. But you work as 4 role across your career. So how do you stay competent enough when you jump into a different sector? Like your personal experience, how do you be competent in your new sector?
I'm still learning. But actually, from pensions to, okay, so there are a few. So there's pensions, and then there's life, and then there's general. Okay, selalunya the transition from life to general, kalau you dah quite senior, it's quite macam this very rare. But I'll talk about my experience from pensions to life. So the reason why I was okay with going to life is because pensions, you look at long-term liabilities. And the concept with actuarial is the same. It's all about liabilities. It's all about valuing or putting a value on all your future cash flows, on what the value is now, you know, and all the same considerations: interest rate, inflation, mortality, expense assumption, you know, all the same things lah. So for me, the transition wasn't a huge jump because their pensions, I value future liabilities, like, and then but pensions dia macam the liability is from the person retire until dia meninggal. Tapi kalau life is until orang tu meninggal, they stop. I mean sama lah, stop until meninggal lah. So for me macam it's long term liability, so it wasn't such a huge transition lah. For me, I thought it was okay. It's more the regulation that you have to learn. Because masa dekat UK kena learn the UK punya pensions regulation, and then in Malaysia bank negara punya pensions regulation. But like I said just now, the change is on more on the nature of the liability. I mean it's equally long term, tapi pensions dia a bit more simple sebab dia just it depends on what are your cash flows lah. So cash flows for pensions is just X% of your salary when you retire. Tapi kalau insurance dia different. So that for me it wasn't easy, but it was okay. It was definitely doable, and you just have to ask questions. Just ask questions. Don't be scared to feel stupid. Just ask questions. Kalau orang yang boleh you dapat jawapan kan. Yeah, and then from life to from conventional to takaful, I thought it will be hard. Sebab takaful dia different regulation, dia ada different funds. But it's okay so far. I mean, if anything, like conventional takaful is easier than pensions to insurance lah. Okay.
Is there any question before we continue with the next session?
advice to us as diploma students who maybe some of us are thinking whether to continue in degree in actuary or move to other courses, just to motivate us in our study?
Yeah, maybe I'll go first. So it goes back to like I said, your interest. Are you happy? I think the important part is to be happy. You know, when you do things with a happy heart, you ikhlas, you know, and you also tend to achieve things greater lah, kan? Yeah. So I used to be at your place doing diploma for 2.5 years, right? You know, and it was I think a pursue. So I pursued again the degree in actuarial science. I do have friends that after they did actuarial, they did not pursue degree. One of the many reasons is that they want to try something else. Maybe they couldn't cope with the actuarial scope, and they know with the mathematical background that they have, a strong quantitative background that they have, they also can excel in other courses. You know, so it's not really about anything about everybody else says. It's about you. You are the only one yang tahu what you want, so you do that. So you do you, right? Okay, thanks.
Sikit lah. Don't be scared. You don't have to know the right answer now. If you like actuarial, you like maths, you can still continue doing actuarial science for your degree. Don't be scared. But even if you don't, I'm sure you're gonna choose something similar, macam maths or financial something. And if you don't like it, you can always go back to actuarial. Yeah. So I don't. It's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. So it's okay. Just I don't know. I can't give you an answer, but I like what Aline said. Just follow your heart, what you like. But even if you made the wrong decision, if you regret it, don't regret it because career-wise you can still change. Okay, when I was studying, the orang buat actuarial, they learn biology. So I mean, kat Malaysia, I'm not so sure lah. Tapi because biology to actually quite a big leap lah kan ha. But don't worry here. So yeah, just trust your heart.
Alright, maybe sikit lah. Trust your instinct, have the right intention, and always be good. Itu je yang boleh advice for now. Don't regret anything. Everything happened for a reason. Trust the process, right?
Any other question? Now, we would like to continue with the appreciation ceremony. As a symbol of remembrance, I would like to invite Mr. Azimi Wan Ahmad to receive a gift from us. Accompanied by Madam Siti Norashikin binti Shamsuddin, the Program Advisor, and Nur Shafiqah binti Sharifuddin, the President of Surabaya Actuarial Science. I'd like to humbly request Madam Siti Norashikin
reason why? Because you guys betray me. You always study, always scold me. Sniper ada gambar pun juga. Sniper ada gambar pun juga.
May stay in your current position to capture a few pictures with today's speaker.
Nanti orang tak nampak sayang. Siapa yang cakap?
Ambil gambar.
Kalau boleh apa ke depan boleh ke depan sebab takut tak nampak.
Bangun. Bangun-bangunlah. I think yang belakang you guys boleh stand out yang ke depan juga. Siapa yang duduk belakang tu? Ke depan.
Kasih banyak ruang.
This side boleh bangun ke depan. Tak depan sini pun boleh. Zawawi, nak ke depan?
Kat belakang kita orang pun boleh.
Mari.
Duduk. Weh, tak nak depan ke? Boleh depan lagi? Depan lagi boleh? Ni kosong? Ini dari sini? Sekarang dah tak apa. Dari sini. Depan. Depan lah. Yang kat belakang saya tak nak ke depan ke? Tak nak masuk free? Oh, nak ke depan.
Adam.
One, two, three. Freestyle. One, two, three. Video. Sorry, belum lagi.
Ada gambar lagi je dapat gambar balik.
Ada video. Okay guys, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we do yesterday, so I think you guys know. So Mr. Azimi will say Etiqa X Ascom, so everyone can shout, it's a wrap. Okay, like yesterday, okay?
Etiqa at Sascom.
It's a wrap!
As the saying goes, every journey has its destination. It is with this sentiment that we acknowledge the conclusion of today's event. It has been a privilege to host this program, and I wish all of you to have a pleasant day. As for our esteemed VIP and guests, we are pleased to inform you that refreshments are being prepared in Bilik Perbincangan 7 for your enjoyment. Once again, thank you everyone for gracing our ceremony with your presence. On behalf of the organizing committees, I would like to express our apologies for the mishaps that may occur during the event. Students, before you leave the hall, please scan the QR code displayed on the screen and fill out the review form for today's program. With the end of that, I conclude my role as the host for today's event ceremony. With wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a great day, everyone.
Okay, jom makan. Scan dulu.
Para pelajar boleh scan QR code yang ada dekat depan. Kalau tak nampak, bolehlah pergi depan ni untuk scan. Link ni untuk kehadiran untuk Part 5 juga. QR code ni untuk link kehadiran bagi Part 5. Jadi, boleh scan.
Kau sekatilah. Ih, bodoh. Kau bodoh lah.
Suruh. Siapa suruh?
Dah.
Tak belum lagi.
Itu je lah YouTube tak function pun.
Ya, tak function pun. Macam mana guys? Best tak?
Dah tunjuk ke? Bongok. Masuk YouTube.
Siapa-siapa yang dah scan QR code ni boleh balik.
Dah. Terima kasih. Dah.
Terima kasih semua sebab datang.
Dah tukar kamera. Tukar kamera kot. Aku dah habis ni.
Ni je kameramannya.
Kamera kena scan lah.
Bye-bye.
Tapi kat sini malam ni.
Nah, sekali lah kita orang.
Saya tengok tak?
Tak memang posingnya tu. Kita memang posing. Ha, kita memang posing. Ya.
Kira paling rajin dah ni.
Biasanya.
Baik, dia mati. Oi, dia mati baru tu. Harap boleh.
Dah banyak dah.
Harap baru tu sikit. Nak repeat ke tak next time? Bagi lama sikit rasa stop.
So dah boleh end stream.
Satu.
Tunggu berada dekat.